I'm going to reiterate some things that I hope sound familiar. I know we've gone over them this year, but it's been a little while since our last writing assignment. So if you need to take extra time to address these things, please do. All right, first, have you guys ever heard of rap?
Yeah, I listen to it all the time.
Not the music genre.
Oh, yeah, that's
What is it? What does it mean?
I forgot, but I learned rap for president.
Reading? I don't know.
Rap starts with a reading and
No.
read assessment paper.
Respond.
Restate.
Somebody said restate. There you go. Restate.
Aiden said it.
Answer.
And participate. Prove.
Prove.
I like how Aiden got that.
All right. So restate, answer, prove. You guys have heard that before. When did you learn that? Third grade. Okay. Good.
Seventh grade.
Good. Yes, we are. How were you taught to restate, though? How did the environment impact my survival? Because, was it like that? No. So, make sure, well, hold on, I'll come back to that thought. Answer, what does it mean to answer in this case when we're doing a paragraph response to a prompt? And you have documents that you can pull resource from, could pull facts from. What is the answer called? The thing that you worked on Friday was your claim, right? You're going to make a claim. You're going to make I like saying make a statement, because sometimes if it's a little bit more flamboyant, it can be more interesting when you go for it, okay? So your answer is your claim or your statement, your thesis statement, right? Restating and answering, can they be done in the same sentence?
Yeah.
Very important to remember that you can do these in the same sentence, and if they're done right, it'll sound intelligent, and you'll get it knocked out right off the bat. It'll be concise, but it'll be clear what the question was. Now, when you're restating, does it have to be word for word? No. Does your reader need to know what the question was word for word?
No.
No. They need to know what the gist of the question was. Like, after reading your response, they would be able to make a pretty decent guess as to what the question was. Does that make sense? So, for example, and I put this example out there earlier, and then people were like, he said to do that. I'm like, no. It was just one example. You might, depending on what your thesis statement is, you might be able to lead into it. The Mayans were able to survive in their environment by, and then your statement, right? What did they do? Does that make sense? So that's just one example of a way you can do both in the same sentence. Prove. How are you taught to prove your answer? I see it all the time still, even though I'm a middle school teacher, I still see it. You're not sure? You got your hand like, maybe what?
Quote.
Oh, that's good. You can use a quote. I'm just like telling a story kind of on my own here. What do I see a lot that I don't like in middle school? Go. I know this because. So this is, in education, we call this scaffold. It's like, basically it's a tool. In third, fourth, maybe even fifth grade, the teachers are still teaching you to use this tool. It's a reminder. It forces you to prove your answer. Does that make sense? Oh yeah, I got to put the I know this because. I need to prove what I know. Can you prove your answer using evidence without saying I know this because in the document it says such and such?
Yes.
You can do that, right? So get out of the habit. Can you say this in other ways? Can you demonstrate that you know your answer is right just by giving good evidence? If it's good enough evidence, it'll speak for itself. It's like, well, obviously this proves what I was saying. Now, it might not be super obvious. So you might have to say something similar to this, but don't use the same thing every time. Just like when you restate, it shouldn't be, how did the environment impact my survival because or by. It doesn't flow into what you're saying. You can combine these and then reread it and say, does it A, make sense? Maybe A would be, does it answer the question? B doesn't make sense. Ooh, that's really important. Really important. Does your thesis statement, does your claim have to stand alone in answering this question? No. If it had to, if I said you're going to write one sentence, and that one sentence you're going to answer the question, could you really do anything abstract at all? You wouldn't have time, right? You wouldn't have the words. So you'd be doing what kind of answer? I'm pointing at
A recall.
You'd be doing a recall answer. You'd be pulling the answer from the text. When you have an entire paragraph to respond to the question, should your thesis statement answer it all by itself? No. It does, but the reader's going to say, wait, how does that, they're going to be wondering, I want more. And by the time they read your explanation for why your statement is true, by the time they're done reading the whole thing, you will have answered this. Does that make sense? So, for example, your claim might not be a fact. It should not be, unless you're doing the simple recall answer, it should not be something you pulled straight out of the text. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a higher order thinking response. I want you all to make a statement. Your statement in response to this. Think of this as, well, it's a prompt, not a specific question. It's a prompt. It's, what do you think about the Mayans? What did they, again, remember our discussion on, was it Thursday or Friday? What were the conditions they dealt with, the environment, and what was the strategy or strategies, maybe inventions that they used to succeed and survive? Okay? So you're going to make a statement. It might be an opinion. It could be an opinion, a statement as an opinion. Opinion as a statement. And then what do you have to do, though?
Prove it.
With evidence from the documents. It's called DBQ, right? Document-based question, right? I just learned that term this year. Heard of ERQs and barbecues, yeah. I love some barbecues.